You see my email. You see a map. Now I am in the towns window. You see the cycle. And you see the blue dot in the cycle. Things you need to know. You need to do your exercise, or these your manuals, and before Friday at 12 p.m. I am waiting your questions by this email. You see my email. Okay, now agenda day 3. We will cover those chapters. Chapter 2, cash flow management, multi-currency, advance payments, intercompany accounting, consolidation, collection auditors and interest, dimension hierarchy, XBIL taxonomy, year-end close. Now talk about cash flow management. We have those objectives: understand the relationship of cash flow to other modules, set up cash flow forecasting, define a cash flow forecast budget model, create cash flow transactions, calculate cash flow transactions, view online data, and print cash flow reports. Microsoft Dynamics AX4 cash flow forecasting and currency requirement tools are used to estimate the company's future need for cash. To have a reliable cash flow forecast, functionality is available to identify and list all the liquidity accounts, that is the company's cash or cash equivalent accounts. Identify and set up the forecast of transactions that affect the company's liquidity account. Calculate, view, and print cash flow forecast, and calculate and display currency requirements. Control the level of cash flow forecast integration by either selecting a very simple setup for cash flow forecast or by setting up many parameters to enable forecasting in many areas. Now you see a picture, this relationship of cash flow to other modules. So you see that are sales orders, purchase orders, so it means open sales orders and purchase orders are involved in cash flow management functionality. Open orders which are not yet invoiced. Customer transaction, vendor transaction. Open customer and open vendor transactions are involved in cash flow management functionality as well. Open, it means invoices not yet paid. Ledger transaction. We can define the ledger accounts for the involving in cash flow management functionality. For example, we can specify payment of taxes or sales taxes. Budget. A ledger budget, we talk about a ledger budget, can be involved in cash flow management functionality as well. We can involve inventory, sales and purchase budget and fixed asset depreciation budget. But before that, we have to transfer from inventory, sales and purchase budget, forecasting, and from fixed asset depreciation budget, we need to transfer those budgets to ledger budgets, and after that we can define those ledger budgets for involving in cash flow management functionality. Let me show this functionality in my Dynamics AX4. Now I'm going to show exercise 2.1, 2 and 2, 2.3, 2.4. So first of all, there are several areas that require setup for cash flow forecasting. This includes the following: liquidity account, accounts payable parameters, accounts receivable parameters, posting profiles, vendor and customer groups, ledger or budget accounts, dependent ledger accounts. So, first of all, we need to define liquidity account. Open the general ledger module under folder setup, under folder postings, open the form liquidity. In this form, you create new record, select ledger account, and this ledger account will be used for as a liquidity account in the cash flow management functionality. Now open Accounts Payable module under folder Setup. Open the form parameters. On the tab Ledger and Sales tags, you see the fields group, Cash Flow Forecast fields group. I talk about period between delivery and invoicing period, term of payment. So, in this field, you define all cash flow management parameters regarding with customers, related with customers. And you can find additional explanation about every field and what we are used for in your manual. The same field, the same parameters you need to set in the account receivable module under folder setup. In the form parameters, on the same tab Ledger and Sales tags, you can find fields related to this vendor. Next step is posting profile. Open Account Receivable module. Under folder Setup, open Form Posting Profile. Now I will show posting profile, general posting profile. On the tab Setup, you can find Settle account. So this ledger account will be, on this ledger account you will see all customer open transactions and sales orders with status open. Then you will use cash flow management functions. You can define, for example, different ledger accounts for different data sources. For example, for accounts receivable module, for customer open transaction and sales orders, you can define different ledger accounts. And in the same module, on the tab Setup, you can define different ledger accounts for table, for customer, for single customer, for customer group, or for all customers. In the Accounts Payable module, you can find under tab Setup Posting Profile, the posting profile for vendors. And on the same tab, you define ledger accounts as settlement accounts for vendors. Next step is vendor and customer groups. In the Accounts Receivable module, open under folder Setup, open Customer Groups. You define the terms of payment and settle period. So it means settle period, period between the due date and cash or payment date. So for every customer and for vendor group as well, we need to define term of payment and settled period, and it will be as default values. So if single customer, single vendor has different term of payment and different settled period, then customer group or vendor group, these values override customer group and vendor group values. But if we don't have for single customer and vendor, system use those values. Ledger or budget account. Go back to General Ledger module. Open Chart of Accounts. Let me show on this account. So if I want to involve this ledger account in the cash flow management functionality, I select this ledger account, then click button Setup and Cash Flow Forecast. I select percent, how much percent will be involved, how much percent of transaction will be involved in cash flow calculation, term of payment, posting type, for example bank, and the same ledger account. If this ledger account is dependent, in this field I select different account, then in Chart of Accounts field ledger account. Now this ledger account is the same because this is liquidity account. Okay, talk about a ledger budget. In the General Ledger module, open a ledger budget form. You see ledger budget. If you want to include ledger budget in the cash flow management functionality, select the budget. On the tab Setup, select the option Cash Flow Forecast, and second step, click button Setup and select menu line Cash Flow Forecast. Select percent, how much percent will be included, posting type liquidity, and the same ledger account as ledger account for in the ledger budget record. And if you want to include inventory, sales and purchase forecast or fixed asset depreciation budget, first of all, you need to transfer those forecasts and those budgets to ledger budget, and after that, you will define ledger budget, a simple ledger budget on the tab Setup and button Setup. So now let me show how I can run cash flow calculation, cash flow. How can I create cash flow transactions? In trials made in Microsoft Dynamics X4 are included in cash flow forecast based on the system setup. So sales orders, purchase orders, ledger entries, and budget entries are examples of activity that may be included in cash flow forecast. So you don't need to create any transaction for cash flow transaction. You need only to set parameters for cash flow transaction. After that, I use periodic in the General Ledger module, periodic function. Currency under folder currency requirements, calculate cash flow forecast. System for me calculates cash flow transactions. You see option total and median. I need option total if I calculate cash flow forecast for the third time in my system. When I calculate cash flow second time and third time and I mean next time, I can use option new, and system will calculate the difference between first time, between last calculation, and between this moment. So I select new and click button OK. After that, I can review my currency requirements and cash flow transaction. So first of all, let me show currency requirements. My main currency is US dollars. If I want to review, and before that I calculated my cash flow transaction, I need to click button calculation. Now I can review total currency requirements based on main company. Overview. Let's see. So it means on this date, on 29th of November 2006, I expect money turnover, positive amount. On 14th of December, I expect negative amount. So money turnover it will be down. And on this day, it will be accumulated, this balance. I can review my cash flow forecast information in the chart of account. Click button Inquire and Cash Flow Forecast. If this ledger account is included, is set up as a liquidity account, I can review cash flow transactions on this ledger account. Ledger budget. If ledger budget has active option for cash flow forecast, I can click button Cash Flow Forecast and review transactions. I can review expected money on sales orders and purchase orders as well. So let me show on sales order. Select sales order with status open order. Then on header, click button Inquiries and Cash Flow Forecast. You can see that on 15th of July, you expect 3,800 Danish kroner. This is summary account, and this is cash flow account. In the general ledger, you can review all cash flow transactions in the report transaction dimension statement. In the field transaction, select cash flow, and you will review cash. You are able to review cash flow transactions. When you create financial statement, you can define for column to review cash flow transaction in financial statement. If you open the form dimensions in the general ledger module, you can click the button Dimension Statement, and you can review cash flow transaction rated by department value, by related department value as well. So cash flow. So you can see date, you can see month, so user may help their company in planning ahead to meet cash requirements. Now I go back to my presentation file. Chapter 3, multi-currency. So we have those objectives: set up profit and loss accounts, run exchange rate adjustments in general ledger, simulate an exchange rate adjustment, run exchange rate adjustment in accounts receivable and accounts payable module, view the exchange adjustment transaction, set up currency rounding. So in this picture you can see currency conversion. So system calculates currency conversion result, adjustment, profit or loss. Here you see example. When a company has different exchange rates for different currencies. And this is posted transaction, posted adjustment. So let me show in my Dynamics AS for exchange rate adjustment functionality. When doing business in multiple currencies, it is important to adjust balances to account for exchange rate fluctuation. Sometimes rate changes can be significant. Therefore, balances must reflect the same rate. When making exchange rate adjustments, make adjustments in the following modules: in accounts receivable, accounts payable, and general ledger. So in the accounts receivable module, we make adjustments for customers. In the accounts payable for vendors. In the general ledger, we make adjustments for all ledger accounts except customer and vendor debt. So we can make adjustments for cash, for bank, or for other necessary ledger accounts. When working with multiple currencies, it is important to be able to track any profits or losses caused by constantly fluctuation exchange rate. So we need to set up the account to track exchange rate fluctuations on the exchange rate form. So I open exchange rate form in my general ledger module. I select records. And on the tab posting, we need to set up ledger accounts for release loss and profit and for unreleased loss and profit. So talk about release loss and profit. These ledger accounts calculated when settlement occurs. So it means when you settle your invoice and payment with foreign currency, system System updates adjustments in those two ledger accounts. I'll talk about unreleased loss and profit. This ledger account calculated when an exchange adjustment is run. So it means when you run exchange adjustments for balance, for customer or vendor open balance, for open transactions, for cash or bank balance, system updates adjustment transaction in those two ledger accounts. On the tab around off, this is a tab around off for general purpose, for sales orders, purchase orders, and we use rounding form, normal, downward, rounding up. Now let me show exchange adjustment calculation in the general ledger. Open general ledger module. Under folder periodic, open the form exchange adjustment. So I select from which account to which account I want to calculate adjustment. And system calculates for me for all ledger accounts which have, let me show chart of accounts, which has active options. Active options, let me show. On the tab General, we have two options for including in the General Ledger exchange adjustment calculation. I talk about exchange adjustment and monetary. If we select exchange adjustment, this account will be included in the General Ledger exchange adjustment calculation. When monetary is checked, the account is revalued at the time of the exchange rate adjustment. For example, do this in liquidity account because it is useful to know how much liquidity the company has at the time of the exchange adjustment. So system, if you select this option, system will calculate adjustments for the end of selected period. For example, you selected that your end is fiscal year end, so system will calculate adjustments for the end of fiscal year. If this checkbox is blank, the account will be updated by transaction date. So system will update all adjustments based on transaction date, not on balance. Not on balance in by the selected period end. Okay, so date from, I define the period for which I calculate exchange adjustment, date from, date to. I define currency code, which currency code I'm going to adjust. Adjust profit and loss, adjust balance sheet account. Check this option if profit and loss account must be adjusted. And you can check this option if balance sheet accounts must be adjusted. You can check both of them. And if you agree with parameters, click button OK. Now I do cancel. Now let me show how to calculate exchange adjustment in the account receivable module. Open account receivable module. Under folder periodic, open exchange adjustment form. So first of all, you can simulate your exchange adjustment. Simulate, it means system for you calculate expected exchange adjustments and doesn't update any exchange adjustment transaction in the general ledger. So this is, you can review expected exchange adjustment calculations, and if you agree, then you can run real exchange adjustment function. So let me show simulation. Click button simulation. I have three methods: standard, minimum, and invoice. If I select standard, exchange adjustment will be made based on date of rate. So system will use rate based on this date. In this field, I can select the date for exchange rate using minimum. An adjustment is made if there is loss, but not if there is a profit. So if I select minimum, system will adjust only loss. Invoice date. The system offsets any exchange adjustment that is not already offset. This causes the transaction being valid at its original value. So now I select standard, considered date, select the considered date on which Microsoft Dynamics DX4 finds all open transactions on that day and makes an exchange adjustment if it is necessary. So this is date for open transactions. Until this date, system searches for open transactions, and this is date for exchange rate. If I select method standard, now you can click button select and you can rate your customers. If you agree with parameters, click button OK. System shows for me expected exchange adjustment. I see exchange adjustment amount. If I agree with those amounts, if rate and date, I use real exchange adjustment function. I click button exchange adjustment. I find the same option standard, minimum, and invoice date. I can use posting profile from posting or select. If I use posting, system searches posting profiles in the transaction. If I and post adjustment based on posting profiles in the open transaction. If I use option select, I can define posting profile in the field posting profile for adjustment transaction posting and dimension. If I use none, system will not update any transaction in my adjustment transaction. Table, system updates customer dimension in the customer table. Posting, system searches for dimensions in transaction and updates the same dimension which are related with adjustment transaction. If you agree with parameters, click button OK. So the same function you can find in account payable. In account payable, under periodic exchange adjustment. You see the same simulation possibilities, and after that, exchange adjustment. After exchange adjustment calculation, you can review voucher. You can review transactions on which date system calculated adjustments. Now I go back to my presentation file. Chapter 4, Advance Payments. Advance Payments. We have those objectives: create and process a bridging account, methods of payment, set up and process electronic vendor payments, customer payments, prepayments, bill of exchange, and set up and apply ledger accruals. So Dynamics form suggests advance payments, and these advance payments include the following: bridging accounts, electronic payments, bill of exchange, and prepayment. Now talk about bridging accounts. A vendor payment can be posted either directly to the final bank account or using a bridging account for a two-step posting. So first step is post the payment to a temporary account or a bridging account. This means the payment is recorded on the vendor account as usual, but the offset account is the bridging account instead of the bank account. This makes the reconciliation of the bank account less time-consuming because the transaction recorded by the company but not yet recorded by the bank are not included in the reconciliation. Those transactions are temporarily posted to the bridging account, and your next step is reverse the posting on the temporary account and post the payment to the bank account. So let me show bridging account in the Dynamics, in my Dynamics AX. Open account payable. Now I'm going to show, give me a second, I will find the exercise. Exercise form 1. Account payable module. Under folder setup, go to folder payment and open the form method of payment. So here you see records with bridging account, bridging payment. So you create a new method of payment, and in the bottom of form we have option bridging posting. So if we are going to use bridging posting, I activate this option. System for me activates field bridging account, and I fill ledger account for bridging posting. So you can see period, and this period list is included in the automatic payment proposals, and I have 4 options: invoice, date, week, and total. So if I select invoice, one payment transfer is created for each invoice in my payment proposal in payment journal. If I select date, all invoices for a vendor or customer with the same due date are combined in my payment proposal. If I select week, all invoices for a vendor or customer with a due date in the same week are combined. Total, all invoices for a vendor or customer are combined in one payment. So now I leave invoice. I close this form, go to vendor, and assign to my vendor on the tab payment in the field method of payment. I assign method of payment with bridging account. Now I'm ready to do those 2 steps. One of them go to the payment journal in the account payable module under folder journal, under folder payment. Payments, open the form Payment Journal, create a new payment journal, click button Line. Now you can create line records using payment proposal or simple, manually. I create manually, transaction. System for me updates offset account ledger, offset account type ledger, and offset account my bridging account because my method of payment is bridging. So system updates bridging ledger account and offset account type bridging for those lines which have methods of payment bridging. And close journal. Second, my step is go to the General Ledger module. Under folder Journal, open the General Journal form. Simply create a new journal, then click button Line. After that, click button Function and select menu Line. Select Bridged Transaction. System for me shows all bridged transactions which were processed in the payment journal. So I need to accept, and system reverse those transactions on bridging account to bank account. So now I go back to my presentation file. Electronic vendor payments. You can use electronic vendor payments to electronically direct pay vendors from Microsoft Dynamics AX4. Paying vendors electronically saves the business money per payment when compared to printing checks, and it's a fast and efficient way of handling payments. So you can find one overview how to use electronic payments for vendors and customers in your manual, but usually in different countries have different requirements, and often it's necessary to do some modification for electronic payments. In general, electronic payments, it means that system creates the export file with vendor payment information, and you need to import the information with customer payment and this vendor's information form reconciliation in your system. So in different countries and sometimes in different companies, electronic payments are using in different ways. So one way you can find in your manual. Prepayment. Accounting practice in many countries regions requires that prepayment or payments in advance from a customer or to a vendor are not posted to the usual customer account for the customer vendor. Instead, these prepayments are posted to special ledger accounts for prepayment. When a sales order or purchase order is made, an invoice is issued to the customer vendor. During payment of the invoice, the prepayment and sales tax prepayments on the prepayment ledger account are reversed. So let me show in my Dynamics AX this functionality. So first of all, open Account Receivable module. Under tab Setup, open the form parameters. On the tab Ledger and Sales Tax, you can find a field for posting profile with prepayment. So you see that in the parameters you define two posting profiles. One posting profile is default posting profile, and this posting profile appears in sales orders and payment journals. And posting profile with prepayment is like additional posting profile. And you need to select manual option for posting profile. So let me show under this different posting profile for the same customer or customer group, you define different ledger accounts, and in this way, system generates different ledger account for customer transactions. So let me show example with payment journal. In the account receivable module, open under folder journals, under folder payments. I open my payment journal and give me a second to look for exercise. We have exercise form.form. So I create a journal, click button line. So you simply create a record for customers. And on the tab Payments, I have option Prepayment. If this option is blank, system for me suggests my default posting profile with default summary account for customers. If I select Prepayment, system for me suggests another posting profile, which I selected as posting profile for prepayment. And in this posting profile, I define different ledger accounts for the same customer. So in this way, system will generate a transaction to another ledger account. Okay, I go back to my presentation file. Bill of exchange. When a customer pays an invoice in cash, the obligation towards the vendor is met. However, they may agree on using a means of payment requiring additional follow-up called a bill of exchange. When a bill of exchange is used, the vendor provides the customer a credit which is secured by the bill of exchange. Might cash the bill of exchange at its bank before the due date, but its obligation towards the bank regarding the cash bill of exchange usually lasts until the customer pays the bill of exchange. So, in general, it means that customer promise to vendor to pay for some items. And bill of exchange is promise, is a document of promise, and this document is confirmed and approved by notary. And after that, customer and his bank are responsible for payment. In Dynamics AX, you can define all steps which are necessary for bill of exchange document posting. You can draw, you can cancel, and you can to use the bill of exchange functionality. You need to set up payment steps and methods of payment, general names, general ledger accounts, and posting profiles. So, and you can find additional explanation about bill of exchange handling and what are they used for in your manual. Ledger accrual. Most common account accruals require companies to report income when end expenses are incurred. Standard practice is to record and recognize revenues and expenses in the period they are incurred because of their significance to the future income and cash flow of the company. So, ledger accrual makes it possible to redistribute the costs or revenues of a journal line to be recognized into the appropriate period. So let me show this functionality in my Dynamics AS. Now I'm going to show the exercise for 6. Open module, General Ledger module. Under folder Journals, open General Journals. I have already posted my General Journal. So I need simply to create a new General Journal. Click button Line. So you create a record. And enter the amount on the debit side, because now I'm going to split my ledger account. So how system will split my ledger account? It depends on my accrual scheme. I define my accrual scheme in the general ledger under folder Setup. Under folder Postings, in the form Accrual Scheme. I created my accrual scheme. On the tab General, I define my parameters for my scheme. So I define ledger account for debit and credit transactions, which will be included in the splitting. Voucher, field voucher. So I have 3 options: base, single, multiple. Base, the main voucher number should be used for all generated transactions, so journal voucher will be used. Single, there is a new voucher number for each transaction date by the period. Multiple, there is a new voucher number for all accrued transactions. So if I use single and multiple, in the field number sequence code, you see this field under voucher field. I need to define number sequence for voucher. In the transaction text field, I can define the automatic transaction text, posting date. I have 3 options at the start, middle, and end. So in the posting date, I select when the accrued transaction should be posted. Now I selected N in the end of period. Duration, field group duration. In this field group, I define the period for splitting. So I'm going to split in 12 periods, monthly, and I will define start date in my journal. Field group posting. I have posting frequency and value posting field. So this field group defines how I'm going to post my transaction. Now go back to my journal. So you define amount in the record in the field debit, and after that click the button Functions and Ledger Accruals, menu line Ledger Accruals. So now this function is not active for me because my journal is posted. When you select this menu line, you need to define accrual identification In this exercise, you will select monthly, then system updates base amount, and you need to select start date from accrual. After that, go to Journal, and let me show the transaction on the ledger account. So system for me split my amount in 12 transactions. My start date is 31 of January and last date is 31 of December. And system split for me all amounts. You see, I had amount of 3,499. Now I have 12 amounts. Okay, I close Windows. Now now I go back to my presentation file. Chapter 5, Intercompany Accounting. We have those objectives: review posting intercompany transactions, review setup for intercompany accounting, post an intercompany transaction, and trace an intercompany transaction. In this picture, you can see one of example of intercompany accounting. For example, Company 1 and Company 2 sharing inventory building. Rent is €1,000 per month. Company 1 uses 70% of the building and Company 2 uses 30%. In this picture, you can see transactions which are posted in this situation. So now let me show posting relationship. And now I'm going to show exercise 5.1. I open my Dynamics AX4. So notice that you can use intercompany accounting functionality if you have companies in the same database and you have the same chart of accounts. In this way, you can use your intercompany functionality. Now, I'm going to show intercompany accounting relationship and transaction between two companies, one XS, you see, and 2XS. So first of all, I need to create a ledger account in chart of accounts. Now I check those ledger accounts. So I created ledger accounts for due from intercompany and due to intercompany. My account type is balance. For another company, 2XS, I need to create the same ledger account for intercompany transactions, for debit and credit. So in other companies, I have the same ledger account. Now I go to the General Ledger module under folder Setup, under folder Journal, open the form Journal Name. I define journal template for intercompany accounting transactions. In company 1XS, I created this journal with unique code inter 1XS, description, journal type daily. I created new number sequence because I'm going to use format. My format for intercompany accounting transaction. Because I want to differ my transaction from other ledger transactions. In the company 2XS, I created journal name as well and call the journal name inter 2XS and define number sequence with format 2XS. So we need to do the same in both of companies. Last step is define as this journal name in the intercompany posting form. So in the same module, general ledger, under folder posting, open the form intercompany accounting, and in this form I map two companies. So now I am in company 1XS. I create new record. I select another company 2XS. In journal, in field journal, I select journal name from company 2XS. You can see enter 2XS. In this field, I select debit and credit account from company 1XS. So in this way, you map two companies. This information from company 2XS and 2XS. This is debit account due from intercompany and credit account due to intercompany from company 1XS. In the same in other companies 2XS, I create the same record and map company 1XS with 2XS. So in this way, I related two companies. Now I go and post the intercompany transaction. In the company 1XS, open folder journal, then open general journal. I have already posted this journal. Get it. Click line. So you simply create a new record, account type ledger. This is ledger account, transaction text, enter the amount, and in this place you need to select another company account. I mean, open tab general. This field group. In this field group, you include the information from company 1XS. In offset account field group, you include information from company 2XS, from another company. So, in the offset company account field, you select company 2XS, then ledger, then offset account type ledger, then ledger account, and this ledger account is included in company 2XS. You can define also transaction text for another company and post a journal. Now let me show vouchers. Inquire voucher. Now we are in the company 1XS and you see system updated transaction in ledger for ledger account and for ledger account which is selected as posting as for intercompany accounting post. You cannot see this ledger account in company 1XS. You see those two accounts. Now open Remember this ledger account and open another company. I open this company 2XS. Open chart of account and select this ledger account 606300. This ledger account was included in the intercompany accounting journal line. Open transaction. You see the voucher to 2XS. This is format from the journal. System automatically created the transaction in other company, and we can review voucher. We see ledger account, which was included in the general ledger, and you can see the ledger account which is defined in the company 2XS. Now system uses, let me show. Now we are in the company 2XS under folder setup, under folder posting. I open intercompany accounting form, and I see for credit transaction, I defined a ledger account, and this ledger account was updated. I close all forms and go back to my main company. So notice that you can use intercompany accounting functionality when your companies are in the same database and have the same chart of accounts. And with intercompany accounting, it's only for a transaction without inventory transaction. You cannot use this functionality for inventory intercompany transaction. So this intercompany accounting can help by providing a single entry point for transaction that must be recorded to multiple companies. Making transactions from a single company saves data entry time and provides a guarantee that transactions affecting multiple companies are recorded in each company. So if you want to use intercompany accounting with inventory transaction, you need to use another functionality which is located in the inventory management, in the basic management, in the basic module, and account receivable and account payable modules. And this intercompany accounting only related with ledger accounts, with customer vendor accounts, with fixed asset accounts, fixed assets, with projects. Okay, so I go back to presentation file. Chapter 6, consolidation. We have those objectives: set up a consolidation company, set up a subsidiary company, perform a consolidation according to the FASB 52 regulation, consolidations inquire, view and delete consolidation transactions. Okay, so consolidation. So now I'm going to talk about consolidation using this example. My company 1XS is like parent company. My company 3XS is like subsidiary company. So first of all, I need to specify how the exchange rate should be calculated for the consolidation. Then I need to define the percentage of ownership that should roll into the consolidated company from subsidiaries. And I need to set up ledger accounts and other parameters. So let me show the let me show the exercise 6.1. I'm going to set up general ledger parameters. After that, I'm going to show exercise 6.2, set up system accounts and currency. And I will show other exercise. Now I open my Dynamics AX form. So first of all, if I define my company as parent company, so my company 1XS is main company, parent company. In the general ledger module, under folder setup, select the form parameters, and here I have the option consolidated company account. So I select this option, and in this way I define that this company is parent company. System for me adds additional tabs in the exchange rate form. Additional tab, consolidate. In this tab, I define a closing rate and average rate. So now I show the example with currency Canadian dollars, because my subsidiary, company 3XS, has main currency Canadian dollars, and parent company 1XS has main currency US dollars. So Canadian dollars, this is foreign currency from the point of view of company 1XS. Now I will have the situation then I have different currencies for main company and for subsidiary. So on the tab consolidate, I declare closing rate and average rate for the date on which I'm going to run consolidation. Generally, the value in the closing rate field is used for balance sheet account, and the value in the average rate is used for profit and loss account. So next my step is to define system account in the general ledger setup, open folder posting, open system account form. In this form, I set up two ledger accounts for balance account differences and for profit and loss account differences. So now I have two ledger accounts, because I am going to have two different conversion methods. Next my step to set up a chart of accounts. So I'm going to set up ledger account which I selected as for profit and loss account for consolidation differences. I open my chart of accounts. I select Holding different ledger accounts on the tab General. You see field Consolidation Conversation. We have three options: historical, average, closing, and historical. So you can select historical. If you're going to use the exchange rate set up for the currency in the consolidated company to value the transaction. So if you select average, system will calculate adjustments based on average rate, which is defined in the exchange rate form. If I select closing, system for me will calculate consolidation differences because of adjustments based on closing rate, which is defined in the exchange rate form. So if I need closing rate, I define closing rate and I select consolidation conversion closeness. Now I leave closing. Okay. Now talk about subsidiary company. Talk about company 3XS. So having completed the setup process in the consolidated company, the next step focuses on the subsidiary company. The amount of setup needed in a subsidiary depends on how closely the chart of accounts and dimensions of a consolidated company and subsidiary are aligned. So it means there are some different situations. The first situation is where the chart of accounts are identical in the subsidiary and the consolidation company. So it means main company, parent company, and subsidiary company has the same chart of accounts. When this is the case, the consolidation account will be selected during the consolidation process to transfer the balances to the correct account. So you can use option consolidation accounts when your chart of accounts are the same and you use option consolidation accounts. System will transfer all transactions for consolidation from subsidiary company to main company. The next situation is one where the consolidated company does not have a chart of accounts and you want to use the subsidiary chart of accounts in the consolidated company. And there are 2 points when using this method. You can enter a manual mapping on the chart of accounts in the subsidiary. This causes the mapped accounts to be created automatically. And do not enter mapping. This causes the chart of accounts to be created in the consolidated company as data is transferred from the subsidiary. So if you have different chart of accounts and you do not map those different chart of accounts, system will create additional records in main company chart of accounts. And this record will be ledger account with transactions from subsidiary company. So if you don't want to have additional records in your chart of accounts in the main company, you can map chart of accounts. So it means now I'm going to show the example when I have different chart of accounts. Mapping, it means I will select ledger account from the main company for subsidiary company for chart of account for the ledger account. Now I'm going to map ledger account from subsidiary company to one ledger account in the main company. So I'm not going to use a lot of ledger accounts for main company. So let me show. This is my main company chart of account. I have this chart of account, this ledger account, and I want to map to this ledger account all ledger accounts with account type balance from subsidiary company. So let me show how to remember this ledger account. Let me show how I do this. I select my 3xs, open chart of accounts. I select ledger account with account type balance. On the tab General, in the field Consolidation Accounts, I select ledger account from the main company chart of accounts. So you see, another ledger account has the same value. Another ledger account has the same value. So in this way, I selected for all ledger accounts which have type balance, because now I am going to transfer transaction from account type balance. I go back to my main company. This is my main company. Okay. So I open the periodic function, consolidate. I have three options: consolidation export, consolidation import, and consolidation online. So if my components are in different databases, I can use consolidation export and import. Now I have my components in the same database. Okay, I select from account to account. I can select only one ledger account, only this. In case in the subsidiary company, I have this ledger account. So remember this option. I select this option and system finds the chart of accounts are the same. System transfers from the same ledger account to the same ledger account transaction. If system finds that chart of accounts are different, system is looking for value for mapping. If system finds some values, system transfers to the same value in the main company. If system finds that there are no n value, system will create additional records in your chart of accounts. So now I will not use, and I will not use this option, exchange adjustment. So if you remember, subsidiary company and main company has different currencies. So now system will calculate adjustment based on my settings for system account for profit and loss, because now I use conversion method profit and loss. If I use balance, system is looking for settings or conversion methods for balance system accounts. And based on closing or average rate, which is selected in the exchange rate form, system calculates adjustment transaction. So this is period from 2 for consolidation. On the tab Dimension, if you're planning to prepare reports and financial statements using dimensions in the consolidated company, you can map the dimension using the subsidiary to the consolidated company dimension. So we have some options: month dimensions, group dimension, company accounts, and accounts. If I select none, system will not update any dimension during the consolidation process. If I select dimension, system will update original dimension from subsidiary company. If I select group dimension, system will update group dimensions which are defined in the main company dimension form, and in the subsidiary company dimension form in the field group dimension. Company account. If I use company account, system updates company account code during consolidation process, and account system updates ledger account value during consolidation process. Now I leave company account. On the tab companies, you select your company account. For consolidation, you select a percent. For sharing, conversation method, and description for consolidation process. If you agree with all parameters, click button OK. Now let me show the inquiries. In the general ledger module, open inquiries, consolidation. You can review. Here you see my consolidation. You can review transactions which were consolidated. On the tab dimension, you can review dimension value because I selected company account 3XS. You can remove transaction, and after that you can run a new consolidation. So, SB 52 compares the consolidation of a parent company and a subsidiary using different currencies. So, you can find additional explanation about this feature in your manual. And you can see that regarding this feature, in the system you can find new conversation methods, average, closing, and historical, a new system account for consolidation, for profit and loss, and for balance. So now I go back to my presentation file. You see the picture about consolidation according to the SB 52 regulation. So, in system can suggest new conversation methods, average, closing, and historical, and transferring to consolidation different accounts, balance or profit and loss. Chapter 7. Collection letters and interest. We have those objectives: set up and create collection letters, process collection letters, set up and create interest codes. When a customer does not pay an invoice, a company, depending on its company policy, and the customer usually sends a collection letter. Additionally, the company has the ability to connect a fee to be charged on each collection letter, with the fee added to the customer's collection letter balance. So let me show collection letter functionality in my dimension AX. Now I'm going to show the exercise 7.1. In Accounts Receivable module, under Folder Setup, open the form parameters. On the tab Interest and Collection Letters, I have some options. Just update collection letter code. So I can select that when I want to update collection letter code, when post, after posting, or after print out. So I select print out. And interest calculation. I can select when I want to calculate interest. For open and close transactions, for open and only for close. Open, it means open customer transaction. Close, system suggests the possibility to calculate interest for closed transaction. It means if the interval after the due date and between due date and between cash and payment, the system can calculate interest for this period. So I select open and close. And I select multiple interest rates. Next step is to define collection letters code. So in the Accounts Receivable, under Setup, open the folder Interest and Collection Letter. Open the form collection letter. Here you see my collection letter record. In the collection letter sequence, I created unique code. On the bottom of form, I create lines collection letter 1 and collection and collection. So you can define ledger count for fee for collection letter, currency for fee. You can define minimum amount on which base system will generate collection letter. You can define days after how the interval of days, and you can block your customer after collection letter printing. So on the tab Note, I define my collection letter note. This is the text for collection letter. Now next my step is open posting profile. I open my general posting profile. On the tab Setup, I define the collection letter code for this customer. So I can, in this field, I define collection letter code. I can define different collection letters code for different customer, for single different customer, for customer group, or for all customers. Now let me show how I can run my collection letters. In the Accounts Receivable module, open the periodic folder. Open folder Interest and Collection Letter, and the form Creation of Collection Letter. I have some options: invoice, credit note, payment, and interest. So I can define the options on which base system will generate collection letter. I select collection letter. I select date for collection letter. Then use posting profile from account or select. If I use account, system will find posting profile based on transaction on which system generate collection letter. If I use select, I can select posting profile based on which system will generate, for example, my fee for collection letter. You can click button select and define and read customer. Now I selected one customer. If you agree with parameters, you can click button OK. Under form creation of collection letter, you can find a form collection letter notes. So system in this form shows collection letters which generated based on my parameters. I have 2 collection letters. I can review on tab transaction. I can review all transaction on which base system generated collection letter. I can cancel, I can post. So if my collection letter is posted already, I cannot cancel. I can cancel before posting. Okay? Now talk about interest code. If collection letters aren't sent out and the customer still does not pay, a company may want to charge interest on the late payment. For each interest calculation, a fee can be charged which is added to the interest for each customer. So first of all, I define my interest code in the accounts receivable module under folder setup. Open the folder interest and collection letter and open the form interest. So let me show the exercise 7.2. I created this interest code. On the tab setup, I defined interval after this system. After this interval, system calculates interest. So my interval is 4 to 5 days. I can define month or day. And this is ledger count for ledger posting. On this tab, I define percentage for interest. I can define different percentage for different intervals. And if I am going to use multiple interest rates, open the form parameters. Again, I have options. On the tab interest and collection letter, option multiple interest rates. If this option is active, I define different percentage for different intervals, and system calculates different percentage for different periods. In the bottom of form, I create lines. I can define different currency for different lines, different currency. This is fee account. As additional, I can define fee. I can define minimum amount on which base system will calculate interest. Next step, posting profile. I open posting profile, the same general posting profile, and I use the similar way for interest code defining. So I have a field in the posting profile. Next step is run interest calculation. In the accounts receivable module, open the same periodic function, the same folder interest and collection letter, and interest calculation. So I can define options on which base system will calculate interest based on invoice, on credit note, payment, or interest. I define from date and to date, so system searches open transactions, open and close, because I selected option open and close. Round off, I can select account or select for posting profile. I can click button select and select customers. Now I selected only one. So if you agree with parameters, click button OK. Under interest calculation form, open the form interest note. And here you see the interest note. System generated this interest note for me. On the tab transaction, I can review transactions. Amount of interest. So I see 180 days for interest calculation. I can review a voucher. Before posting, I can cancel my interest note. I go back to my presentation file. Chapter 8, dimensions hierarchy. So we have those objectives explain the overall concept of dimension set hierarchy and rules, create a dimension set subset, activate create dimension set hierarchy, create a dimension set rule. Concept of dimension set hierarchies and rules. Dimension set hierarchy and rules help avoid incorrect financial dimensions assigned to transactions. So this is the main concept. Use the dimension set hierarchies and rules features to control and validate dimensions assigned to financial transactions. Enable data integrity and relevance by preventing irrelevant dimensions, values in context, preventing unauthorized value combinations, assisting users in trying, and you can restrict dimension values on a try on tables and journals, and posting on ledger accounts. So here you see dimension set rules procedure. In Microsoft Dynamics 8.4, financial dimensions are controlled by dimension set hierarchy, and dimension set rules. In this picture, you see how to create dimension set rules and control the dimension value in try. To control the user open and try on financial dimensions on transaction, it is necessary to create dimension sets, set up dimension hierarchies, and apply the rules for that dimension values to use on ledger accounts, tables, or objects. So let me show the exercise 8.1. I open my Dynamics AX4. First of all, let me show the parameters. Open General Ledger module. Under folder setup, open the form parameters. Here you see the field group dimensions. I talk about deny blank, activates it, and update cost dimension from ledger count. So deny blank, it means the system controls that in all transaction user will need to fill values in dimension field. Update cost dimension from ledger count. System updates cost dimension from ledger count from chart of account. Activate steps. System controls on which step user needs to activate set rules. None. It means system does not control at posting. In the posting process, at update, then records. When user creates records, system controls set rules. So they notice that before using those three options, you need to think about your dimension set rule in general. If you set your dimension rules that, for example, user needs to fill department dimension and cost dimension, you cannot set option deny blank because according to dimension set rule, system needs to control two dimensions, and according to this option, system needs to control all three dimensions, and it will be a conflict, and a user will not be able to create any transactions, create and post any transactions. If according to dimension rule, our system needs to control cost dimension, for example, from vendor table, and you select update cost dimension from ledger count, it will be the conflict as well. So you need to think in general about your dimension rules, how system needs to control, and after that you can activate and select those three options. So next step, to create dimension set. In the general ledger module, under folder setup, open folder dimensions, and you see the form dimension set. So notice that once you use dimension set, once you created one transaction, system will not allow to you to delete dimension set. So again, you need to think how company is going to use dimension set, because you set dimension set only one time. So now I select this dimension set. In the form header, on the lines I create my new hierarchy. So I create a record, click button Structure Designer. I drag and drop my department and cost center. After that, I select option Check and Simulate. So I updated my new hierarchy. I approve, and now I have. Now I go to dimension set rules. In the form header, in the main panel, you see dimension set, the same dimension set as in the dimension set form. I select my dimension set department cost center. In the middle of panel, you see dimension set rules collection. I created new collection. I created new hierarchy. I assign my new hierarchy. And in the bottom of panel, I create my rules. So you simply create new record and first of all select object type. In the field application model, system will update application model depending on object type and identification. So you can select a ledger account, a ledger journal, inventory journal, production, project journal, table collection, cost category account, and service category accounting. So if you select table collection, system for you suggest those table collections: fixed asset, bank customer, sales, free tax, collection letter, interest note, vendor, purchase, work centers. Here you see lots of table collections. So I selected vendor. Now let me show how this rule works. In the account payable, open vendor list, open table vendors, create new vendor. I have new vendor. On the tab dimension, open department dimension field. You see that you see only one department value selectable, and this value goes from hierarchy. So if you remember, I defined for my hierarchy only one department purchase and only one cost center. So system controls vendor table. Now the user is able only to select department purchase and cost center purchase in the vendor table. The financial dimension hierarchy includes the following: an advanced control feature to enable the driving of contractual value restriction on financial dimensions, the ability for financial controllers to specifically restrict authorized values or value combinations at the entry point on chosen table, collections, or journal names, or upon posting to chosen ledger accounts. Dimension sets that combine dimension types can be built to drive and control the dimension value dependencies. Data reliability is increased regarding financial dimensions across the company and according to specific corporate needs or policies. Now I go back to my presentation file. Chapter 9, XBRL taxonomy. So we have those objectives: explain the concept of XBRL taxonomy, import XBRL taxonomy, create a reference root structure, create an XBRL file from the financial statement. Concept of XBRL taxonomy. So XBRL is a global financial reporting initiative started by numerous European software companies and international accounting organizations. The goal of XBRL is to provide a standard for uniform reporting of financial information for banks, investors, and government authorities. So business reporting may include the following: financial statements, financial information, non-financial information, regulatory filings such as annual and quarterly financial statements. Here you see the XBRL taxonomy handbook. So first of all, I need to import XBIL taxonomy template from website or from another source. My next step is to map the XBIL structure, template, into a row definition. And I need to apply this row definition to financial statement column. So let me show this functionality in my Dynamics AX form. I close this form. Now I'm going to show the exercise 9.1. Open General Ledger module, under folder Setup, under folder Posting, open the form XBRL taxonomy. So I import XBRL template, taxonomy template from website or other data source to this form, and I can click button Details and view. I can view all details. Now let me show the form income statement. This form. I can review labels, references, info of this form. So next my step is map this form with row definition. I created a new row definition in the General Ledger module. In the Setup folder, in the Financial Statements folder, open row definition. I have new row definition. I assigned dimension focus account. So now I can transfer my XBIL structure in the row definition form. Click button Template and transfer from XBIL taxonomy, or I can transfer this structure directly in the XBIL taxonomy form. So click the button Transfer and select row definition and click button OK. So let me show. I did this row definition. I click button Structure Designer, and here you see my income statement. I can modify it, I can delete, I can add some additional lines. And after that, I create financial statement. I create main focus account, and based on this main focus on folder setup, I can I assign my financial statement. In this way, you can create reports based on XBIL templates. So let me show again details. XBIL enables companies to use a common taxonomy to define their financial statement terminology. Okay, so now I go back to my presentation file. Chapter 10, Year End Close. We have those objectives: create a new fiscal year, control transactions in a closing period, stop a close a period, change a model status in a period, create a closing sheet, make adjustments or transfers between accounts, such as fiscal year close parameters, transfer opening balances. So here you can see year-end close handlings. The result of profit and loss account, of accounts with account type, revenue, cost, or profit and loss, are taken into a balance account. Into a balance account, which is selected as, which is defined as system account for year-end close results. The result of the profit-loss account gets moved to financial reports. Profit-loss account set to 0. In the new year, balance accounts are closed and continued in opening transactions for the closing amount. So here's about closing sheets. The company may print trial balance sheets, check from inconsistent, and make any adjustments necessary before closing the period. To make adjustments in Microsoft Dynamics AX form, either make normal journal entries depending on adjustments, or use the closing sheets. When using the closing sheets, it shows an advanced view of the balances on accounts, and year-end postings can be performed directly from it. The posting term is typically take place in the closing period of a fiscal year. You can create several specific closing sheets for revenue, expenses, balance accounts, and so forth, and then load the balance from the general ledger into the closing sheet using the accounts button. After loading the transactions, make transfers from one account to another. It is similar to a journal in that as many new closing sheets as are needed can be created, and several lines of entries can be posted. So let me show in my Dynamics AX a year-end closing functionality. I close all windows, all unnecessary windows. Now I'm going to show the exercise 10.1. So you can find fiscal year and tab in your manual. So now you can stop your periods, you can create a new fiscal year. Now I already have my new fiscal year. So let me show how I use my balance closing sheet. In the General Ledger module, under folder Periodic, open fiscal year close, and I select the form Closing Sheet. So you simply create a record and Unicode description posting layer current period closing, because now I'm going to create adjustments in closing period. Then click button closing account and click button load balances. You can load balances depending of your filtering criteria. For example, you can arrange your ledger account you can select only this account type, revenue or cost, and etc. So system for you loads balances. If you want to create the adjustment transaction for this ledger account, you click button transfers. So you create a record, you enter amount and offset account. Open the form. Then, after all adjustments, I click button Post and System for me. Generate adjustment transaction. Let me show. This is adjustment transaction. So closing sheet is very simple and very easy for using. You can adjust all the transactions in the closing sheet. Let me show fiscal year closing function. So open the form opening transaction under the same folder fiscal year close. In this field, I enter end date. I'm going to close 2005. Here you see balance account. So you have two options, reset and closing and opening. Talk about reset. Select reset to reset the balance account and enter the opening balances for the balance sheet account manually. Closing opening. Select this option to continue with the balance sheet account and have the opening transaction created automatically by the system. So I select closing opening. In this field, you select a ledger account, which is defined as system account for year-end closing results. Voucher number. I select voucher number, for example, close. And you can print created transactions in the posting process. In the form header, you see three options. And system updates those three options from the general ledger parameters. So let me show these parameters. In the general ledger module, under folder setup, open the form parameters. In this form, you can see field group fiscal year close. And you can see that system for you shows those three options in the opening transaction form. So talk about this option. Delete close of year transaction during transfer. So select this option to delete open transaction and system generate closing transaction when a transfer is repeated. So if you want to have, you can use a fiscal year closing function as many times as you want, or it depends on your limited number of open fiscal year. If I have 0, I can use fiscal year functionality as many times as I want. So every time when system runs this function, system creates open and close transactions. And if this field is blank, system leaves all open and close transactions for history, and you see all your open and close transactions which are created. If you select this option, system updates open and close transactions, and you will see only updated the last open and close transactions. So if you want to see history, you deactivate this option. If you want to see updated, you activate. Create closing transaction during transfer. Check Select this checkbox to create closing transaction when running the opening transaction job. So if you select this option, system will create closing transaction for ledger account which has account type balance, liability, and assets. If this field is blank, system moves balances. System only moves balances to open period for ledger accounts which has type balance, liability, or assets. Keep specification by dimension. Select this checkbox to avoid creating closing and opening transactions specified by dimension with transfer. So if you want to specify your opening and closing transactions by dimension, leave this checkbox blank. If you don't want to specify dimensions, specify your opening and closing transaction by dimension, select this option. Voucher number must be filled in. So it's a good idea to select this checkbox for controlling if a user fills voucher number. The system updates those three options in the opening transaction form for fiscal year closing function. Okay, now I go back to my presentation file. So here you see summary, day 3. We covered cash flow management, multi-currency, advance payments, intercompany accounting, consolidation, collection letters and interest, dimensions hierarchy, and XBIL taxonomy, and year-end close. I expect you to do your exercise and to read your manuals. Here you see successive agenda. Next time we will cover fixed asset functionality. So introduction to fixed assets, setup procedures, setup assets, asset transactions, inquiries and reports. I expect you to review exercises and to read manuals regarding successive agenda, because next time I'm going to show exercise which regarding those chapters. Here you see things you need to know. You need to do exercise. You need to study by yourself. I'm waiting your questions until before Friday at 12 p.m. Here you see my email. So let me say thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Enjoy your manuals and exercise. And see you next time. Bye.